Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 in this reaction series on the 48 Laws of Power from the book by Robert Greene and of the animation of this YouTube video by the channel illacertus, and I will link in the description his channel and the video. Make sure you check that out. So we're going to be reacting to the next 8 laws and relating them again to modern times. So let's just get right back into the reactions. But before we do, make sure you subscribe and like the video to see further content. Here we go.
Law number 9. Win through your actions, not through argument. Mucius needed strong ships. Without guarding his tongue, his engineer argued that a different type than the one Mucius preferred would be much better for conquest. Despite being right, the engineer was sentenced to death. Don't argue with authorities. Agree and suggest an alternative, then demonstrate.
Yeah, fantastic law. I do this a lot, trying to work on it, where I'm trying to convince people on my point. I'm trying to just force my opinions, or just trying to get people to really listen to me, and you get frustrated and stuff. You start arguing with people and you get into such negative confrontation just because you want to be heard or you want to be right or whatever. So you can never force people to change. You can never tell them, look, this is what you need to do. This is all the reasons. No one cares. Show through your actions, because you're not going to destroy the relationships by yelling at your friends and family or whoever. And just show the light, show how it's working for you. And people, that's how they learn. They watch people and they pick it up, and then they start doing it because they want to feel like they're the ones who figured it out and they started it on their own, and feel important that way.
Law number 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Lola Montes brought down the king of Bavaria and his whole kingdom by seducing him. Her lust for destruction and chaos was insatiable. Countless lives perished because of her nature. Cut off the fire starters. Try to help them instead, and you will burn alongside them.
I love this law. This law is so true, but so hard to put into action, because you may have very close family members, very close friends you've known forever, that continue to suck you into this negative energy, this negative confrontation of, and it could be positive in their mind or, in general, but it's toxic of what you're talking about, what you're doing, how much time you're wasting. It's so true. There's a few places in my life, like the gym, when I go to conferences, different work things, that the people are just exactly like me in my positive best self, and then life is amazing, just such good energy, such happy emotions, just so great for myself and to progress in life. And when you're around unhappy people like that or whatever, immediately you go unhappy, and then you could be just in your unhappy emotions for hours. You could start to just get sucked into certain communications, things you're talking about that you start to think about now for 3 hours, and it's just a waste of life. And that's how you just get stuck in the mud and you do nothing, and life's just so unhappy and not what you want. So definitely being around happy, great people is important, but you have to let people go, even maybe family members. It is what it is.
Law number 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Otto von Bismarck led the king's hand in uniting a mighty Prussia. None other than Bismarck was able to do so. He proved himself to be an indispensable asset and had his strong position secured. Be the only one who can do what you do, or see yourself replaced in fear sooner or later.
Yeah, this is so great for business, where you want to have a position or you want to have a skill that other people can't do, or at least the majority of the public can't do, because then obviously you have more value, you're in demand, you're a scarce resource. That's all people trade money for, and things go up in value for scarce resources. And that could be your skill, that could be your labor, that could be whatever it is for you. And that's why CEOs maybe don't do a lot of labor or different things, but they're setting up something that most people can't do. It takes a lot of work, a lot of capital, a lot of intelligence to do all these things, and that's why they're compensated the most, because not many people can do that. It sounds all easy, but it's not. Same with your relationships. You don't want to you want to make your spouse or whoever, you want them to be independent, but again, you want to have something there that other people can bring to the table, that you're a great person, you're super loyal, and maybe other people aren't, or whatever it is. You need to have something where your spouse is going to want to keep you around, or your friends are going to want to keep you around. Being a good person, whatever it is. Very important.
Law number 12. Use selective honesty to disarm your victim. Count Victor Lustig was going to double Al Capone's $50,000. Instead of running with the money, he gave it all back to Capone, who thought he was being played by a con artist. Capone gave Lustig the $5,000 simply to help the honest man. Tell the truth to gain your opponent's trust. Be honest when expected to be dishonest, to throw your opponent off guard.
Yeah, this is really great for people you can't trust, or your enemies and stuff. You don't want to put things out there that you shouldn't, that's gonna possibly affect your life in a negative way, where people may want to come after you or what have you. So you want to you want to be pleasant even when you shouldn't, or you want to do things for people. Maybe on surface you shouldn't, but there's reasons to do or whatever. You have to, it's all strategy. It's all strategy to make sure that what your big goal is going to be accomplished. You have a plan, a bigger purpose, and these little things don't matter as much, when you have a better, bigger purpose.
Law number 4. Always say less than necessary. Due to his unpredictability, Louis XIV would have his courtiers tremble in fear when delivering bad news. He would say, "I shall see." Have them leave the room and either take action or decide to do nothing about the issue, but always with an intimidating silence. Only speak when you have something meaningful to say. Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, so I don't know, it seems like the laws are switched up or messed up there, but anyways, saying less than necessary, this is so great, where again, that gives you more value and more power, where if you say too much, it gives up your position, it gives up they know more of what your strategy is or what you're thinking. You want to say less, so then they fill in the blank. Same for power in that instance, where you say less and then they're filling in the blank of what's he gonna say, how bad is it gonna be, make sure we work hard and do whatever we do. So from a boss standpoint, it's very good to keep people in line to be working well and to not take advantage of you. And same can be applied for kind of friendships and relationships, spouse wise or whatever. Same exact thing. You don't want to put too much out there. So saying less than necessary, definitely a power move and definitely beneficial to yourself, bringing more value.
Law number 13. Asking for help appealed to people's self-interest. In 433 BC, the Athenians found themselves in a favorable position. The Corcyraeans and the Corinthians were preparing for war. Both parties wanted to secure the help of the Athenians. The Corinthians chose to remind them of an existing debt. The Corcyraeans, on the other hand, spoke only of mutual interests, the combined force of their navy directed at Sparta, the Athenians allied with the Corcyraeans. In sales of any kind, pragmatic arguments will always trump emotional appeals. The past does not matter. Don't count on loyalty. Aim for win-win deals.
Yeah, this law is so great, where I realized there's actually a great story. That one's a fantastic story. One of the best stories on that. But there's a story of a certain president, I forget who. He went to his enemies and he asked them for help, for assistance for some things. And these people, they wouldn't even talk and stuff. But because he asked them for help and put him on a pedestal, he did help them. And it actually created a relationship with them, and then they had he would do lots of things for them, and even though they're enemies, they're competing forces, he still always did things for him, and even though that was the guy's strategy. So now he had more of an ally than an enemy. And I realized asking people, most people think like, oh, asking people, it's like it's a burden to people, and they won't like you as much, like you're annoying them or whatever. But asking people for things makes them like you more. That's what that president proved. And I really realized that too, because you asking someone to help versus you not talking to them, or you not getting them to do things for you, they will dislike you more if you don't ask them for help or ask them for favors and stuff, rather than the other way around, which you wouldn't think that's the case. Because again, like they say here, that that makes them feel of importance. That is like of their self-interest. Most people want to help in general, like that's in our emotions. It's a great feeling, but you want to, it spikes your ego of feeling like I'm of importance, I'm of value, I'm better than this person. All those things are happening within you, and they like the person better because they're feeling like, you're feeling like on top of the world, you're feeling like something special.
Law number 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Charles Maurice de Talleyrand-Périgord, French politician and mastermind behind Napoleon Bonaparte's defeat, would hold himself back in conversation and get others to talk endlessly of themselves to the point of betraying their own thought, intent, and strategy. An interrogation disguised as a friendly chat, so subtle that the victim did not notice. Learn to judge a person's character by what they reveal of themselves, so that you can recognize a threat before it arises. Test people's honesty before you consider trusting them.
I think this does sound deceiving, but again, you shouldn't put everything out there of what your plans are and stuff, because again, people are gonna try to destroy you if they're a competitor, or they're envious again of you. They're gonna try to ruin you. So you don't want to put it all out there. You want to, again, say less than necessary. Everything goes hand in hand. And listen more, pick up stuff, and know like who you should trust. What are those people saying? How are their actions versus what are they saying? And you don't want to be putting all of your secrets out there in the world, or all your vulnerabilities, because again, people are going to use those against you. So you want to be more of a spy than putting it out there, because again, you can't trust friends. You got to be careful with them. Your enemies are out there too, so you got to be careful.
Law number 15. Crush your enemy totally. A priest asked the dying Spanish statesman and general Ramon Maria Narvaez, "Does your excellency forgive all your enemies?" "I do not have to forgive my enemies," answered Narvaez. "I have had them all shot." The last resort, when words are no longer heard and the enemy cannot possibly be reasoned with, the chances for peace at their lowest, the only option is total destruction. Merely wound the enemy, he will recover and show no mercy in turn.
Yeah, destroying your enemy totally is very important to know, because especially in business, when you're on defense, you will be destroyed eventually. Only people on offense are going to win. They will take out their competitors eventually. They are going to just be too big to fail. So you always need to be on offense. If you look in sports, if a team in hockey is up 7-0, they do not start to play defense and take it easy, and they are still try to score, still try to go, because if you let up, you're going to lose the momentum. They're going to be coming on offense, and then they may never lose that momentum, and you're going to be destroyed totally. They're going to keep going and you can't get back on the saddle. So you have to do that. You have to always be on offense. It's just like life. What is life? Life is continue to grow, to continue to be alive. That's basically on offense. It's not like you plateau. A plant plateaus. It keeps growing and growing and growing. That's how it goes. We all need to be like that too.
Law number 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. A man said to a dervish, "Why do I not see you more often?" The dervish replied, "Because the words, 'Why have you not been to see me?' are sweeter to my ear than the words, 'Why have you come again?'" Molayami, quoted in Idries Shah's Caravan of Dreams, 1968. Give people time to miss you by robbing them of your presence. It's when we lose something that we discover how valuable it had been to us. On your return, you will be appreciated all the more.
I love this law. This, again, something I've realized where the more I'm around people, like if I'm around the same person always, the more chances it's like we're going to get into an argument eventually. We're going to, just have some tensions in life. And the relationship doesn't flourish as much as people that I see periodically or more acquaintances. The relationship's almost great all the time. It never gets, because you don't get into all your opinions of what's right. You're my friend, you should treat me like this. You're my thing, you should be like this towards me. All these standards come in when you're around people for too long. So you want to be around them less. So it's like, it's wonderful to see you, catch up on the great stuff, and then I'm gone, and I'll see you later on in life until something else great and important is happening. I think relationships are way better that way. All mine are. Being around people too much, again, it's true. People, you lose your value. People look at you, it's like, they don't care to see you as much. And that's just the way it is. So I think less is better. Even your spouses, even people you're super close to, even your parents, your family members, you should see them only so often. You should be around the people that are helping you progress, be a better person, that are in your industry, that are, just fantastic people to be around, that you need to be around. So that's it for part 2, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe and like the video again. Part 3 coming next. Hope you're enjoying these little, opinions of mine on each law here. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you think about each law and my comments on them, and let's just continue to grow and become better, guys.